In a kingdom nestled between the mountains, King Gunakamadeva made the extraordinary decision to marry his daughter to a white jackal. Guided by a divine vision, the wedding proceeded under the stars. The jackal's presence radiated wisdom, bringing prosperity and harmony to the kingdom. The story suggests that the white jackal was a manifestation of Narayana who appeared in human form to his father in law, King Gunokamadeva. As a bond, Narayana gifted rice seeds, previously unknown in Nepal. But after planting, the harvested husks were found empty. Narayana revealed that Patma Arya Avalokiteshwara Karunamaya, the Lord of grain and his Guru, would one day fill the husks. He explained that Karunamaya, already in human form, would arrive at the reign of Gunakamadeva's son. After exhorting the king to dedicate himself to religious works, Narayana vanished. Following this, the king embraced devotion and was blessed with a son, Narendra Dev. Eventually, the aging king crowned Narendra Dev and retired to the forest to live out his days in spiritual pursuits. The story shifts to Mahadan, a wealthy but childless merchant and his wife, who pray to Karunamaya for a son. In response, Karunamaya appears, instructing them that a hermit will visit in 4 days with a specific guidance. The hermit arrives as promised, telling Mahadan to fill a pot with cow dung, store it in a dark, secret place for 21 days, and ensure no one touches or looks at it. However, on the final day, the merchant's wife accidentally discards the pot. Upon discovering the mishap, the hermit revealed to be Karunamaya himself, leads them to search the rubbish heap. Inside the pot, they find a child, but since the instructions were not followed, Karunamaya takes the child under his care. He raises the boy, initiates him into the tantric practices of the Kanfata yogis, and names him Gorakhnath. Scholars note that while this tale aligns well with modern cult practices and festivals, its historical references, such as separate kings in Patan and Bhaktapur, are anachronistic and likely reflect later Mulla period redactions rather than the end of Narendra Dev. Gorakhnath arriving in Nepal, he takes lodging at a liquor shop and challenges the girl in charge to supply him with as much liquor as he can drink. Confidently accepting the challenge, the girl serves him throughout the day, leaving Gorakhnath defeated and impressed by her ability. Curious about her seemingly endless supply, he secretly inspects her liquor shop the next morning and discovers that her feat was made possible by the Nagas, serpents, who had collided around her pots. This power over the Nagas had been granted to her by Ganesh. Enraged, Gorakhnath uses a mantra to bind the 9 Nagas and takes them to Mrigastali, where he sits atop of them in a lotus posture. After the Nagas were imprisoned by Gorakhnath, a severe famine struck Nepal due to their inability to provide rain. King Narendra Dev, desperate for answers, summoned all the scholars in the land for counsel. Despite their efforts, no one could explain the cause of the drought or offer a solution. Finally, the king turned to the learned guru of Shantikara Swayambhunath, who revealed the truth. Gorakhnath was sitting on the Nagas in Mrigastali, and the only remedy was to bring Karunamaya Loknath to Nepal. Only his arrival would prompt Gorakhnath to rise. The Guru explained that Karunamaya, also known as Loknath, was currently in Kamani, a land of demons, Yakshas, where he lived as the youngest of 500 sons of the local king. Seeking guidance, Narendra Dev asked for directions to Kamini and instructions on how to bring Karunamaya. The Guru promised to provide the details after meditating further. After meditating further, the Guru returned to King Narendra Dev with a revelation. He recounted that in his previous life he had served the goddess Yogeshwari Yogamber at a place called Mayapi. One day, the goddess commanded him to sacrifice his son to her. Though horrified, the Guru obeyed when the goddess explained that the boy was not truly his son but an incarnation of Karunamaya. She instructed him to perform the sacrifice, burn the boy's body, and assured him that one day a statue would be crafted from the boy's bones. This statue would become the centerpiece of a grand chariot festival honoring Loknath, bringing prosperity to Nepal. Those who rejected the festival, she warned, would face death and great suffering in their next lives. Finally, the goddess promised the Guru that he would reunite with his son in a future life when one of his pupils, Bandhudat, would bring Loknath to Nepal. Bandhudat, the Guru's current pupil, is summoned and tasked with the mission of bringing Loknath to Nepal. Initially hesitant, he gains confidence when he recalls his past life as a renowned Siddha. In that life, a Bodhisattva had appeared to him, prophesying that he would one day use his magical powers to bring Arya Avalokiteshwara Karunamaya to Nepal. Inspired by this memory, Bandhudat accepts the mission with resolve. Preparations are made and the group sets off. Bandhudat as the spiritual guide, King Narendra Dev as his patron, and Rathan Chakra, a Japu from Patan, accompanying them as a porter. Together, they embark on their journey to find Karunamaya. Along their journey, the group encounters a man who blocks the path and refuses to let them pass. When they persist, he transforms into a gigantic snake, revealing himself to be Karkota, the king of the Nagas. The Guru subdues him with his spiritual powers, and eventually Karkota agrees to join and assist them on their quest. The next challenge they face is the Shila River, whose waters have the power to turn anything that touches them into stone. To help the group cross, Karkotak stretches his massive body across the river, serving as a bridge. However, the tip of his tail accidentally brushes the water, turning it to a stone and breaking off. Enraged, Karkota curses the river, and as a result of this curse, all the Nagas are now born without tails. After some time, the group reaches Kamarupi on the outskirts of Tamani city. To gain access to the king of the demons, they devise a clever ruse. Karkotak Nagraj enters the demon king's stomach, causing him to fall gravely ill. None of the king's doctors or scholars can cure him. Seizing the opportunity, King Narendra Dev offers the service of his guru, Bandhudat, presenting him as a learned doctor. The Demon King, desperate for a cure, accepts and promises to grant Narendra Dev one request in return. Once the Demon King recovers, Narendra Dev requests his youngest son, who is none other than Karunamaya. The Demon King immediately regrets his promise, explaining that the prosperity of his kingdom depends entirely on the boy. Pressed further, the king suggests leaving the decision to the boy's mother, Maya Yakshini. However, she adamantly refuses to part with her son, and the group retreats to Kamarupi. Up there, Bandhudat uses his magical powers to bewitch the boy. Under the spell, the boy sneaks out of the city at night, passing over his mother, who had blocked the doorway to prevent his escape. He leaves his lifeless body at the doorway and flees the city in the form of a bumblebee. The bee is carefully placed in a golden kalash, and Narendra Dev begins the journey back to Nepal. When the Yakshas discovers that the golden kalash containing bumblebee has been taken away, They sneak into the camp at night and snatch it away. King Narendra Dev is filled with despair, but Bandhudat reassures him, saying there is no need to fear as he still possesses greater magical powers. Using his spiritual abilities, Bandhudat summons four fearsome Bhairavs and together they return to the city of the demons. Upon their arrival, they confront the king of the Yakshas. After intense negotiation and witnessing the terrifying might of the four Bhairavs, the king and queen of the Yakshas reluctantly agree to release the boy. As part of their agreement, they give Bandhudat seeds from trees native to the land, instructing him to plant them along the way back to Nepal. Once the boy completes his mission in Nepal and the trees grow, they will serve as a guide for him to find his way home. However, Bandhudat, wary of the Yaksha's intention, renders half the seeds infertile through his mantras. The remaining seeds are planted near Nepal, ensuring that only a limited number of trees will grow to mark the path. With the boy finally secured, the group resumes their journey, bringing Karunamaya closer to fulfilling his destiny in Nepal. The four Bhairavs carried Loknath on a portable carrier as they approached the outskirts of Nepal. Deciding to rest, they set the carrier down, but when they tried to lift it again, they found it impossibly heavy. It was soon revealed that 300 Yakshas had followed them and cast a spell, placing the weight of 4 mountains upon the carrier. Once again, Bandhudat came to rescue. He entered deep meditation and instructed King Narendra Dev to stay alert as Loknath would soon reappear in the form of a bumblebee. When the bee entered the golden Kalash, the king was to cover it immediately. The first time the bee appeared, the king, overcome by exhaustion, dodged off and failed to act. The bee escaped. The same thing happened a second time, and Bandhudat sternly warned the king that this would be the final chance. If the Kalash wasn't covered this time, all hope would be lost. Despite the warning, the king drifted off again. Immersed in his incantations and unable to speak, Bandhudat resorted to kicking the king to wake him. Startled, the king awoke, cursed his guru for the rude awakening, but managed to cover the Kalash just in time. The party resumed their journey with the 4 Bhairavs carrying the golden Kalash. Upon reaching Bunga, the Bhairavs set the Kalash down and vanished. At that moment, the gods descended from Amarpur in heaven to greet and worship Loknath. Meanwhile, Gorakhnath, who had been waiting at Mrigasthali, heard of Loknath's arrival and set off to meet him. The 9 Nagas, now freed, rose into the sky, entered a black cloud and paid their respect to Loknath, causing rain to fall abundantly across the land. As they approached Patan, Bandhudat sensed that Loknath's mother, Maya Yakshini, was hiding in the top of a tree, intending to reclaim her son. Using his incantations, Bandhudat cast a spell to bind her to that spot, where she remains to this day. With this final task completed, Karkotak Nagraj bid farewell and returned to his own relief, his role in the mission fulfilled.